All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're going deep into the world of the Paladin. Specifically, what you can do at first level in Dungeons & Dragons.
Ooh, first level paladins, always a blast.
And you've given us your character sheet here
Yeah.
and some rule books, so let's figure this out together.
Yeah, let's break it down.
What makes this holy warrior tick?
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I see human paladin, level 1, noble background.
Okay.
I mean, ready.
A classic.
Yeah, it sparks some questions, right? What kind of noble are we talking about here? Like a valiant knight? Or maybe like a righteous zealot?
Yeah, right. How do they see the world?
Yeah, what are the details that are going to bring this character to life?
Exactly, and that noble background suggests someone who might be used to, positions of authority, comfortable giving commands, maybe negotiating.
Right.
But it also hints at that strong sense of duty, responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And looking at the skills and proficiencies here, all armor, shields, simple and martial weapons, that's a lot.
That's a lot of versatility right there.
Out of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, skills like history and persuasion. I mean, I guess that's the noble upbringing.
Must be. And proficiency is so important in D&D. It really, remember, it directly affects your dice rolls.
Right.
So being proficient in a skill or with a weapon means you're more likely to succeed when you need to use it.
Yeah, you want to be good at the things you're good at.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of weapons, I see a battle axe and some javelins.
Ooh, nice.
That's a good mix, right? You got the close combat and the ranged.
You got options.
The battle axe packs a punch, slashing damage.
Love that.
You can even wield it two-handed if you need to just hit extra hard.
Oh, yeah, if you want to really bring the pain.
But of course, then
Yeah.
you give it this shield, right?
There's a trade-off there.
And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But don't underestimate the javelins either, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Piercing damage can be really effective against certain types of enemies.
For sure. Plus that ranged option, that tactical flexibility.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Now, one of the Paladin features that always intrigues me is divine sense.
Ooh, yes.
You can detect celestial, fiendish, or undead presences within 60 feet. It's like a sixth sense for the supernatural.
Right. You walk into a room and you get that tingle,
Yeah.
that feeling like something's not right here, and boom, you detect this faint aura of evil emanating from like a hidden passage or something.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
But hold on, you can't just use this all the time, right?
Right. Divine Sense has limited uses per day, so you need to be a little strategic.
Okay.
Don't waste it on every creaky door or flickering shadow. Save it for when you really need to know.
You got to know when to hold them.
Exactly.
Know when to fold them.
That's right.
All right, now let's talk about lay on hands. So you can heal yourself or others, but it's more than just patching up wounds.
No, yeah. Lay on hands it's like an expression of the Paladin's oath, Right. It's their commitment to protecting, to healing. And at first level, you have 5 hit points worth of healing power that you can use.
Okay.
And each point spent heals 1 hit point.
So it's not just a mechanic. It's like a reflection of your character's beliefs.
You're really in.
Or are you going to, use it just to keep yourself alive? Or are you going to share that power with others in need?
That's a great question and a great way to tie the mechanics into the role-playing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, while we're on the subject of combat prowess, let's talk about your fighting style, protection.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
It's all about being a guardian.
Yeah.
Using that shield not just to defend yourself, but to shield others.
Yeah, so how does that actually work in practice? Like, let's say one of my companions is about to be attacked by, I don't know, a goblin.
Oh, classic.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're within 5 feet of me. Can I use this to help?
You absolutely can. So if they're within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on that goblin's attack roll.
Wow, so you're literally stepping in to protect your friends.
You got it.
It makes it harder for the enemies to hit them.
That's right. You become a wall.
Emphasizes that team dynamic.
It really does.
But you do need to be wielding a shield, right?
You do. You need to have that shield.
Okay, so that's the trade-off.
Yep, you're giving up that two-handed battle axe for that extra protection.
Decisions.
That's the game.
All right, now we got to talk about this. Divine Smite.
Yes.
It's arguably a paladin's most iconic ability.
I think it is. I think it is. It's where things get exciting.
Yeah, this is where you channel divine power into your weapon strikes,
Right.
unleashing this
Yeah.
burst of radiant energy. I love that imagery.
I love it.
Like the weapon crackling with holy energy.
That's so cool.
But how does it actually work mechanically?
So when you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack,
Okay.
you can expend a spell slot to deal this extra radiant damage.
Okay.
And at first level, that's 2d8 radiant damage, which is,
That's a lot.
oh, it can be devastating.
Especially
For creatures that are vulnerable to radiant energy.
Oh yeah, you're talking about some serious pain.
And then against undead or fiends, it's even more powerful.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
add another D8 to the damage roll.
Oh, talk about smiting evil.
Yeah, you're bringing the hammer down.
But it does consume a spell slot.
It does.
Okay.
Got to be mindful of those resources.
Great. And spell slots, that's the thing that lets you cast spells, right?
That's right. That's right. And speaking of spells, you've chosen some really interesting first level spells for your paladin.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm excited to get into that.
Let's dive into those first level spells.
Okay.
Starting with Bless.
Okay.
Now, it might seem simple,
Right.
but this spell can be a game changer,
Yeah.
especially in the early stages.
So Bless gives my allies a bonus D4 to their attack rolls and saving throws.
That's right.
Okay.
That little D4 can make a big difference. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're up against like a heavily armored enemy
Oh, yeah.
and everyone's rolling to hit, but their armor's so thick,
Right.
it's tough to land a blow. That bonus D4 could be
It could be huge.
the difference between a hit and a miss.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It could also, imagine your rogues trying to pick a lock under pressure.
Oh yeah.
That extra D4 could be just what they need to avoid setting off a trap.
Ooh, that's good.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's a subtle but powerful way to just kind of tip the scales in your party's favor.
I like it.
Now, command is another spell with a lot of potential.
Okay.
You get to utter a single word of command, forcing an enemy to obey.
Okay.
Unless they resist with a saving throw, of course.
So I could yell, "Flee!" and send a goblin running in terror.
You absolutely could.
Now, that sounds fun.
It can be very effective, but you got to be strategic about it.
Right.
The command has to be something the creature understands and is physically capable of doing.
Right. You can't command a fish to climb a tree,
That's right. That's right.
but I could command an enemy to halt, giving my allies a chance to regroup or reposition.
Precisely. Or you could command an enemy to drop their weapon,
Ooh.
disarming them,
That's good.
giving your party an advantage.
I'm starting to think of all sorts of
Oh, yeah.
creative possibilities here.
It's a very versatile spell.
Okay, Cure Wounds. This one seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, it's a classic
Yeah.
touch your creature, heal them.
Yeah.
But there's still strategy involved, right?
Right.
Do you use it to bring a heavily wounded ally back to full health, or do you spread those healing points around,
Oh,
keeping multiple allies on their feet?
I see. So there's some choices to be made there.
Exactly, especially when your resources are limited.
Right. Yeah.
You only have so many spell slots.
Okay. Detect magic. This seems particularly useful for exploration, right? Like being able to sense magical auras would be invaluable in a dungeon or an ancient ruin.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine you're exploring an old library, you come across a hidden door.
Yeah.
With Detect Magic, you could sense if there's a magical trap guarding the entrance,
Okay.
or if there are powerful magical artifacts hidden within.
So I could use it to avoid danger or to uncover hidden treasure.
You got it. But remember, Detect Magic doesn't tell you everything.
Oh.
It might sense a magical aura,
Right.
but not know its exact nature or purpose.
So it's a tool for investigation, but not like a guaranteed answer.
That's right, that's right.
A little mystery.
Yeah, keeps things interesting.
All right. Protection from evil and good. This sounds like a very specific kind of protection.
It is. It wards off certain kinds of creatures.
Yeah.
Celestials, fiends, elementals, fae, and undead.
Okay.
Think of it as a barrier
Yeah.
that repels supernatural threats.
So if I'm facing a vampire or a
Yeah.
demon, this would be the spell to cast.
It would be a very wise choice.
Okay.
It makes those creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against the protected target.
Good.
And it also blocks their attempts to possess or charm that target.
That's pretty powerful.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Sounds like a must-have for adventures that go into, the darker corners of the world.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, and finally, Shield of Faith.
Ah,
Ye-
yes.
This spell grants a +2 bonus to armor class, making it harder for enemies to hit you or an ally.
It's a great defensive spell.
I remember when we talked about armor class earlier,
Yeah,
you said it's like a measure of how tough someone is to hit.
that's right.
So this spell is basically like giving someone tougher skin.
You could think of it that way.
Okay, I like that.
That +2 bonus can make a big difference.
Yeah.
Especially against enemies that hit really hard.
So if I'm facing, I don't know, like a giant with a massive club, casting Shield of Faith on myself, or like my fighter friend, would be a good idea.
It would be a very strategic move.
Okay.
It could mean the difference between taking a glancing blow and suffering a devastating hit.
So now we've talked about all these amazing spells, and I'm starting to really understand the depth and the versatility of the Paladin class.
It's a great class.
But I still have this one question, and it keeps nagging at me.
Okay.
How do I actually use these spells in combat?
That's a great question.
Because it seems like things could get pretty chaotic.
Oh yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Combat can be pretty wild.
Yeah.
So that's a great question, and it leads us to a key element of D&D initiative.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Initiative.
Yeah.
So at the start of combat, everyone rolls a d20, adding their dexterity modifier. The Dungeon Master, or DM, determines the order of actions based on those rolls.
So whoever rolls highest gets to act first.
That's right. Highest goes first, then it goes down the line from there.
Okay, so it's like a simulation almost.
It is. It's trying to simulate that unpredictable nature of combat, right?
Oh.
Reactions, quick thinking.
Got it. So let's say it's my Paladin's turn. What are my options?
All right, well, you have a few choices. You can move, you can take an action, and you can possibly take a bonus action depending on what you're doing.
So I can move closer to an enemy.
Yep.
And then swing my battle axe as my action.
You got it. You'd roll that d20, add your strength modifier and your proficiency bonus, and compare that total to the enemy's armor class.
Right?
If you meet or exceed their armor class, you hit.
Okay.
And then you roll for damage, which is determined by your weapon.
And if I wanted to really, punish this enemy, I could use Divine Smite here.
You absolutely could. But remember, that uses up one of your spell slots.
Right, yeah.
Powerful ability, you want to use it strategically.
Yeah. Save it for a big moment.
Maybe a tough enemy, a critical moment in the battle.
Yeah, okay. This is really interesting how tactical
Oh, yeah.
it can be. It's not just swinging a sword
No.
and hoping for the best.
It's about positioning, resource management,
Okay.
making the most of your abilities.
Now what about, remember those other spells?
Oh, yeah.
Can those be used in combat too?
Absolutely. They can be woven right into that flow of combat.
Okay, so I could cast Bless at the start of combat to give everyone a bonus.
That'd be a great way to start things off.
Right.
Or you could use command to disrupt an enemy's actions.
Oh, yeah.
Giving your party an advantage.
Or Shield of Faith on our fighter.
Yeah. Help them withstand those heavy blows.
Okay, so it's all about adapting, making smart choices.
It is. And as you gain levels, you'll have even more options and abilities at your disposal.
Wow, okay. This has been really, really helpful. I feel a lot more confident about playing a Paladin now.
That's great to hear. Just remember, the most important thing is to have fun
Yeah.
and to create a memorable story with your character.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to experiment, try new things.
The world of D&D it's full of possibilities.
It is.
And who knows? Maybe one day our Paladin will become a legend.
Ooh.
You know, their name whispered in taverns and sung by bards across the land.
Now that's a story I'd love to hear. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of the Paladin. Until next time, may your adventures be filled with glory and your dice rolls be ever in your favor.
Absolutely.